Thank you. We're going to get back to our regular council meeting. We're going to start, we have amended the agenda earlier because the delegation solid waste plan, Sycamoose landfill update. Ben Van Nostrand is not with us in attendance, so we're just going to move on. But before I do that, I just want to make a couple of announcements. I just want to say congratulations to Councillor McCabe and his new bride, and all the best from all of us. As well as I want to wish Carly, from our ECDEV manager, all the very best in her future endeavors. Carly has resigned from ECDEV and Tourism and is moving on to Revelstoke. So we are wishing her all the very best and want to thank her for everything that she has done for Sycamoose. And it has been a lot. So it's sad, it's bittersweet. Sad to see her leave, happy for her new opportunity. So, okay, and moving forward, going into bylaws and policy zoning amendment bylaw 118/2026, 222 Temple Street. Nicole, oh wait, there's a recommendation that zoning amendment bylaw number 118/2026 be adopted this 27th day of May 2026. Could I get a mover? Councillor Bailey, Councillor Bushel. Nicole, take it away.
You through the chair. So this is just a reminder that this is zoning bylaw 1118/2026 for 222 Temple Street. It's a site-specific regulation to our existing zoning bylaw in the MUR 1 multi-unit residential zone. It's to permit short-term rentals in 4 buildings consisting of 15 units, phase 1 and 2 only, at 222 Temple Street. So at the last, maybe 2 meetings ago, there was a public hearing, and then ultimately third reading was passed. And so tonight we're asking for adoption. Also just wanted to bring your attention in phase, I've been doing too much development today. In first and second reading, we had mentioned that we would draft the bylaw this way and then kind of regulate the short-term rentals and see how it goes through a covenant. So the developer's lawyer has provided us that covenant. It's attached to the staff report. And if adopted tonight, this bylaw, then we'll go forward with registering this covenant on title. So that is it.
Council, any comments, any questions, any concerns? None. Will call the question. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Thanks, Nicole.
Yeah.
Okay, CAO report. Dean, take it away.
Thank you, Mayor. As noted in my report, excuse me, sorry. Went to Silga last month. A great opportunity to network with our local governments from all over the region. Great to do. Presentations, opportunity to meet one of our ministers, opportunity to network with other communities and see what good things they've got going on and explain all the good things we have going on. Good conversations. Revelstoke did a great job of hosting. Thought it was really well organized and really well set up. Their facility there worked out quite well. Worked in Revelstoke for 4 years, so it was really nice to get back and explore some of the developments that have gone forward there. And we had the opportunity to go see the developer who doing Mackenzie Landing and have a walkthrough, which is a great opportunity to see a developer that's coming to town to do a development here, see their product. They've got 600 units going in there. It's quite a bit bigger project, but go have a look at their product before they begin construction here. So that application has now been through PDC, and we understand the development signs are going up. So we'll begin to see that developer working here, which is great. Our local projects with our 425 continues to progress. Exterior completion is really looking good. The siding's going on. A lot of variety to it, a lot of articulation in the facade, which is nice to see. When it's all finished, it's going to be a beautiful building. 534, which is the new owners of the gas station, did most of their cleanup. They've still got a shipping container there. They've still got 3 pallets, materials. All of those are related to the building permit completion of the works that they got to do on the Burger King side. We've got some product there, but I was quite happy to see when I came back from vacation that they'd begun the rock work and landscape fabric. So they had the rock sling in this week, moving rock into all their landscape areas. They're fabricating and putting in the rock to finish off the landscaping. They started at the back and working their way around. So I think they've got most of the frontage done. I haven't seen them working too much around closer to the intersection and close to the main street, but that's gonna still come. I'm waiting for the survey to come in so we can complete the transaction on the piece of land. We've asked for that to be completed by the end of the month, which is next week, so I'm hoping we'll receive that in the next few days. We have had conversations with the surveyor, and the owner is up to speed, the surveyor is up to speed, so we should be seeing those documents in time to complete that. Public Works has been hard at work with rib work, both in the existing ribs and getting ready to start the new rib. That hasn't begun based on materials, so we need to have rock material available to begin. So those works are going to be beginning at any day now. Water treatment, we had the new filter work. Public Works has been putting that in. They got the first 60 filters put in the last couple of days. So that's going quite well. The first bank is finished, and Public Works team is working really, really hard, putting in a lot of hours to make that reality for us, which is great to see, and we really appreciate their hard work. Daryl's got a good team there, and we're very proud of him. Our OCP continues to progress. We hope to see that draft. It's a little bit late in coming back to us. We're kind of at the mercy of our consultant, so we're working with them to get that finalized, and hopefully we see that in the next couple of weeks. That will then come back to council for some discussion around that moving forward. We'll have mapping as a part of that, which is going to be great for council to be able to see how all that's working out. The last item that I had in my update was the requested update on what we're doing around the Good Neighbor and the CCANs. We completed our survey of the community. I went through every street in the community, ended up being 31 properties we identified and sent letters to. 50% of those have been responded to. About 10% have been dealt with already. We're expecting that the remaining 50% we're going to likely have to send a second letter to. We did go to PC and discuss the CCANs as possible solutions with our zoning bylaw, and we'll be coming back to council with more information after the OCP is adopted about what those zoning bylaw updates will look like. It wasn't the way our zoning bylaw is written. It doesn't really follow in line with what council intended. I think there's some work that needs to be done there, but we're going to do that as part of the zoning bylaw update. We have to do one anyways with the OCP coming through. So as we do that, we'll have those regulations updated and bring that back to the PDC and then to council. So there's some components in there. The suggestion was to look at the CCANs not as buildings, but as outdoor storage, and begin to treat them in a commercial and industrial setting as outdoor storage, which is more, you just screen that from view, landscaping, but you don't treat them as buildings. That's the key. And unfortunately, our zoning bylaw kind of moves back and forth between calling them storage and calling them buildings. So we've got to get one or the other. I think getting them to storage, outdoor storage, is going to be the key. And that's my update. Thank you.
You're welcome. Did you want to mention CKPC?
CKPC. We've had ongoing discussion with the crossing with the railway, and we have heard back from them as to what the cost would be. They've identified a fault in the line. So there's a fault in the main line of the rail that needs to be repaired very, very soon. So they're looking at having that done within the next few weeks. They've had to slow the speed on this section of line down to 25 from the normal 40 as a result of this fault they have in the line. So they have to correct this fault. So they'd like to do our crossing at the same time. Now, the catch with that is our agreement is the costing for the crossing goes to us. So we're looking at a fairly significant cost component to that. And how we're going to work with that to make that work, we're going to come back to council with some more details on this. We do have a better crossing that will come as a result of it. They will do it. The disruption is going to be about 2 days, but it won't be a full disruption of access. It will be the alternate crossing. So it's not going to be that there's not going to be access through there. It'll be an alternate crossing. It'll be 2 days. We've asked them to pick 2 weekdays, so like a Tuesday and a Wednesday, to have the 2 back-to-back days to do the work. So we'll see more information and have a schedule soon. Is there anything else you want to add, Bianca?
Councillor Rich?
Through the chair. Yeah, just a quick question on our beautification, clean up town thing. With Martin Street and us drawing so many people down to the rail trail. I think they're getting 200 to 300 people a day on the weekends. Are we looking at doing something there? I go down and walk my dog a lot. It's not beautiful. And we've made that a drawing point for Sycamoose. Is it something that's on our radar, or are we looking at kind of sprucing it up a bit?
Main Street at Riverside?
No,
Martin Street.
Yeah.
So the developer is undertaking his frontage works as part of that project. So there will be some improvements that are going to take place on the Martin frontage. The district doesn't have plans to upgrade Martin Street in our current budget or do beautification. We don't know exactly what the Ferry Society is going to decide to do with the completion of the bridge and all access being finished and the boat launch from that side. We're not sure if that's going to be their permanent location. Certainly it could be something that we could look at.
Follow up?
Yeah, through the chair. Yeah, I'm just wondering this year if there's somewhere way we can just tart it up. I'm not saying we're going to spend $25,000 on it, but when I come into Sycamoose and, I park my bike Main Street and then I've got someone standing there for 10 minutes, ferry takes 5, whatever, could take 10 if I miss the boat. I think we have a little bit of a, place where, we just want to tart it up. I'm not saying we spend a lot of money on it, but, just freshen it. So I don't know if that's something we're looking at, or if there's a little teeny bit of money, because we keep talking beautification, but if you go down there and get on the boat, it's not beautiful.
We have very limited land in that area that we could actually do any works on. Most of the land is privately owned.
Yeah, but we have the wharf. Like the boat dock is ours, the launch is ours, so we do have space on either side.
It's very limited.
Councillor Bushel.
Just through the chair, I can add to that. I did request that a while back about putting a load of gravel in there. We were on the rail trail again this weekend and we took the ferry, and as you walk down the boat launch, there's actually broken chunks of asphalt. It's about that thick, and it's actually they're all over the place. Your ankle, you're gonna hurt yourself. So that even like $250, we're not talking a budget. We're just, we're talking blended in with public works stuff, is a couple loads of, and as the water recedes, you put a little bit more in. But it is, first of all, those nuggets, they're in, and there's also a 3-inch rock there. It's all really, you watch the bicycle people, they kind of go, they gotta be careful going in there. And it's just it would really clean it up. I know the other side has a mat and that's really nice, but we have to pick up those nuggets. And I mentioned that to Carly the other day. We met yesterday. And I said, the nuggets, and she was talking about new signage for down there, because the signage they have there shows where parking is downtown, but it doesn't show where the boat launch is. But on their video, it's the same photo. It shows you where the boat launch is and how to get to the other side, and shows you all the parking spots. Just the sign was made too small and it doesn't include Martin Street. So when you get off the ferry, if you don't ask the ferry driver, and a lot of people just sit down and don't talk to the ferry driver, they get off and then they could just look at the sign and say, okay, here we are here. Oh, here's where we can go, where Main Street is or whatever, because there's a lot of people jumping on in Grinrod and coming this way. And we met a couple waiting for the ferry on the other side, and they parked their car in Grinrod and they were coming here, and they come across the ferry, and then same thing, they get off the ferry, and we kind of told them where everything was, so they didn't have to look at the sign. But if you don't look at the sign, you don't know where you are. So Carly is hopefully going to change that.
I'll certainly have that conversation with Carly, and haven't received that request yet. This part of Daryl's public works maintenance to go and look at the boat launches. So I know it's on their schedule to do. They do have material for that, and it's part of their standard work. And so they will be doing that. And I'll bring that to the attention.
And Councillor Rich, is that what you're talking about, the boat launch itself, like the edges of the boat launch?
Yeah, through the chair, not so much, do we have an extra flower pot we can drop there? Like just something that, go down and take a look at it. And I understand that we don't own either side. We do own some of it, and it's, the boat launch is not, people aren't dropping boats anymore because ferries in and out. And it would just be nice if it was just, I always use the tarted up thing, but we've got all these beautiful black, our big flower things, or I don't know, just something that looks, we have Jaylene, who does an amazing job with making our town look great. And we've got people standing there and I just feel like we could, and I know with the owners on either side, that they too, as they develop, I don't feel like they're going to be opposed to making that just beautifying it for a season, not in a huge investment, just so it looks nice.
Councillor Bushel, were you finished? Sorry, I may have interrupted you.
No, I was just adding to that, and then I had two more to.
Okay, I'll go to Councillor Bailey and then I'll go back to you, or
Okay, just
back to
two quick questions. One, just to clarify, 31 properties were identified. That doesn't mean 31 separate owners. That means 31
Correct.
property. Okay. And then with the rail upgrade, kind of when are we expected to have that report come back to council? And I assume it'll come with
Next meeting.
next meeting. Okay, perfect. Thanks.
So while this property owner is actively doing construction, I can't put planters in there, but they are working on that shoulder. I anticipate that they're going to be doing those works soon. And once they've completed the shoulder, we have no issue with looking at putting a planter in there. Just can't put it into an active construction because they're actively working right now. It'd be actually right in their way because they're actually completing that shoulder right now. So certainly that would be something we can have a conversation with the property owner once they finish working there, but I can't put a hazard for them in that area right now. But as soon as they're finished, we'll certainly look at it.
thank you. Councillor Bushel?
Yeah, and through the chair, I did, we'll stay on that development. When I look at the plans for that development, the developer submitted plans with the sidewalk up against the fence. And now we're asking them to put the sidewalk on the outside and then put a swale through there with gravel in it. I just think that you're just asking for maintenance, it's gonna, after a while, it's gonna look terrible, right? And it's not gonna get maintained. It would be easier to let them put the sidewalk up against the fence and then the asphalt would go to the asphalt. I mean, there's literally, if you measure it out, and I did measure it with my wheel, there's literally room in there for a sidewalk, parallel parking, and the roadway one way, and then the roadway this way. You could almost get parallel parking along there for the rail trail people, because they're parking, they're parking on Main Street and they're, parking wherever,
And the servicing agreement that was signed with the property owner included drainage on that side. The allowance was to allow for not putting in a sidewalk, but extending the asphalt instead. So the width of the walkway is what the extension of the asphalt is. The piece that we've asked for the drainage to be is the remainder between the block wall and the asphalt edge. You have to have some level of drainage. That was always included within the engineering requirements. The engineer didn't have a detailed drawing for it because they wanted to build it on site. So they wanted to respond on site as construction, which is what they're doing now. So they don't want to pave up to more than they have to because of the cost of asphalt. So the asphalt has a certain dimension, I believe it's 5 feet. And then after that, the remaining 18 inches or 2 feet will be crushed gravel. All we've asked for as a swale is that the crushed gravel will be 3 inches lower at the center of the swale than the edge of the asphalt. And they continue the 2 to 3% slope that's already on the crown of the road to that swale. This just makes sure that the water doesn't go and shoot down Martin Street and off the boat launch. It creates a crown so that the water continues to flow off the road. Oh, it's not new works. It was part of the original servicing agreement that was signed by both the district and the property owner.
But the blueprints show the sidewalk up against the fence.
When the drawing is not in there because it was going to be on-site developed. It wasn't required to provide a status drawing for it.
Okay, it's your guys' call. I think it's a bad call. It's gonna be a problem down the road. But that's your, that's all I'm just trying to.
Yes, it's a bad call to have drainage on a roadway, but I would suggest that we can certainly have more conversation if you wish.
Okay. And one other thing, I had lady last night at the chamber function, Gwyneth Cow, talk about the playground equipment. I told her it was to do with the grant application. And also about, and I said, I don't know if we're gonna get the grant, but I said, just hang tight, we'll hear about it. The other thing she brought up attention is the kids, she takes all the kids over there. is that notice a lot of people parking along the road and people come in to go to the ball diamond and to the rink are speeding and the speed bumps aren't big enough. So I told her maybe she should write a letter. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention that the speed bumps there with the little kids going between the pump track and the playground and running between cars and their cars are going in there. I said, there is speed bumps, but they're not very big. They're these little ones. Just thought I told her maybe she should write a letter.
Yeah. Bianca, then Councillor Bailey.
Yeah, just to update that, we were not successful for the accessibility grant. So now that we've gotten that, we'll put out the RFP again, and we're hoping to schedule the works for the fall
Okay.
On the playground.
Thank you, Bianca.
Yeah, I just had two business owners on Main Street bring up a small concern. I only bring it up to you just to flow through the information, was about people parking on Main Street for quite a long time to go and access the ferry and the rest. And their concern was there wasn't a lot of turn in terms of the parking spaces in front of their businesses. This is not a concern of mine, by the way, but they felt they're more retail oriented, and if their spaces were being used in front of their places, that it's very hard to go in and buy something and then have to walk across the street or something. So I just pass that along because I know we are encouraging people to park on Main Street, which is great. But I guess there could be an issue there come July and August when the capacity is really high. So I just pass those comments on to you. That's from a couple of business owners I heard from.
I would encourage those property owners or business owners to get a hold of us.
Yeah.
There certainly is options of having time limitations.
Yeah.
I think it is.
So the catch.
It is, isn't it? And that's what I thought. Sorry,
Not
Deanne.
all of those areas are, so we can certainly look at expanding the 2-hour parking limitation. That's something we can explore. So I'd encourage those business owners to get a hold of us, because when we hear from the business owners, we do an analysis and we'll figure out what that's gonna look like.
Yeah, that's a good idea to get them to call, because I agree, 2 hours. I mean, there's, the folks that are going across on the ferry could be gone for,
The whole day.
the whole day, right? So you're tying up a spot in front of somebody's business, which it shouldn't be allowed. And there's parking at Finlayson, there's some other parking, there's paid parking. So people can, find businesses, make a living in Sycamoose on parking, so. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I guess just a little follow-up from there is they weren't suggesting that they don't want people to park there, of course. What they were trying to say, is there another solution to those folks that need to be there 5, 6, 7 hours because they're on and you just brought it up, Mayor, that Finlayson is a great solution to that.
Yeah.
So maybe in some of our communications, we just go, if you need a longer term stay, this is a better parking lot than maybe just right on Main Street. I think that's all they were looking for, because they were just concerned that when people go to shop and then they have bags and they come out and they have to walk, it's just it's a little bit of a, I guess, hassle for their business. That's all.
People
That
are
was-
unloading their bikes from their car, so they can
Yeah.
park a little farther away.
That's right.
Bike to the ferry. You don't need to park at the ferry and take your bike out and walk down the ferry,
And I think they were just suggesting that if we have that in our communications, that would be helpful.
Perfect.
I do believe that the Ferry Society is encouraging to go to the Finlayson,
Oh, great.
because it actually gives you the space to unload your bike. You're not in the traffic. So I think that people are doing that. Depends on the person though, you give people the best recommendation. So their recommendation shows all of our parking lots, but people choose to park where they want to park.
Great.
So if we had a 2-hour parking, we could begin doing some bylaw enforcement over the summer months and encouraging more and requiring people instead of encouraging them to park in those bigger, longer term parking lots.
It's a nice problem to have.
Absolutely. Councillor Richardson, Councillor Beach.
Yeah, through the chair, I think one of the things, and I would say 3-hour parking. I don't know how fast you eat, but 2 hours, if I'm coming into a restaurant, I wait for my friends, I have a drink. I would say we do have 2-hour now. I would think we're probably better off at 3-hour if you're spending your time there. So someone is not rushing out of a restaurant. Ian, you maybe can address that more than anyone, what a table turnover is. And then again, communicating with the ferry, it's too late when that bike gets there, but they do have 2 kids for the summer. And maybe we can start communicating to people that, hey, you know, especially if you're on a bike, this is where you need to be parking if you're going to be spending 5 hours out on the trail, doing it that way.
Thank you. Go ahead, Dean.
Just to help, you're absolutely right. Getting in and out to eat a meal in 2 hours is not always easy. How bylaw enforcement works is we're chalking tires.
Cool.
Go through and we chalk the tires. Return cycle, although we have a bylaw for 2 hours, return cycle on that is more in the 3 to 4 hour range. So the enforcement, the active enforcement is not what it would be in a large community where there's bylaw enforcement off there that's 205 getting a ticket. That's just not, we're not that size of community. We don't have the workforce or the number of resources to be able to do that. So it's in that ballpark. So if you change it to 3 hours, it would be kind of inconsequential. It's normally we wouldn't be in ticketing until about 4 hours. If someone is there for half a day, then they're going to get hit by the chalking twice and they're going to get a ticket. I haven't seen us really at a point where someone's like, I only went in for 2 hours and I got a ticket. That's usually 4 to 6 hours they got a ticket.
Thanks. Councillor Beach.
Yeah, I was just wondering if like if you put up being only on Main Street.
Or a restaurant. That's another,
Well,
that's
still a retail,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
Buying food, but I don't know, 3 hour parking is probably.
It's a good idea too, or allocate, I don't know if this is possible, allocate a couple spots to, beach chick or, like, I don't know if we can do that, because,
Maybe they would help with that though.
go ahead.
It's almost, we wouldn't be able to enforce it. So we wouldn't be able to go into the business. Is this person your customer or not? So
Yeah.
we couldn't actively enforce it. Where you see programs like that are for residential parking, public experiences in Vancouver. You have certain neighborhoods that have parking passes. So you literally have to go into the business, get your parking pass and hang it. So I think it would be actually counterproductive to a commercial business. I think the hour parking or 2 hour parking.
Yeah.
We only use the 2 hour parking tool, but there's some communities with a 30-minute parking area, so you have the touch and go kind of scenario. So depending on what the businesses are in that particular quarter, there are options that you could certainly look at. A 30-minute parking for restaurants is not great. For retail, it's okay. So it depends on what you kind of are trying to do actively. I think the opportunity to really review Main Street parking is going to come when we do the downtown neighborhood plan, because there should be a comprehensive plan for how that all works and what businesses are where and what businesses do we anticipate are going to be in that corridor.
Okay, thank you. Dean, you mentioned that you're going to send out how many unsightly letters again?
I've already sent them.
Okay, so, but we've double checked in those to the business name and making sure that they are zone correct and the letters are correct. Because there was, like you had mentioned, there were some zones that shouldn't have had letters, but the ones that you just sent out are all good.
I did get a call back from somebody who said that the owner I had on the letter was not the correct owner, and we corrected that at the phone. So yes, we did send out 31 letters.
Okay.
I did have one that came back as an error in name. We had an Excel table and the cell went into the wrong name. It's corrected.
Okay, CPKC, we signed a contract with them in 2006 when we're putting together this, because it's, I don't want to scare you, it's substantial. Like, this crossing is gonna be, so if we could get all the information, like, I don't know, does the CPKC contract come up?
No.
For renewal ever, or why did we sign it in 2006?
We signed it in 2006 when the crossing got moved. So when there was the subdivision and everything happening, we moved the crossing down. And at that point, when the crossing got moved, that's when the agreement got reissued, but we actually took over ownership of that crossing in 1998. But previously it was to MOTT.
Okay, because I understand that, but yeah, okay, it's just that the crossing should be a cost share, like the district of Sycamoose, I'm just kind of feeling is taking the full force of this. And I don't know, the rails are being used, right? So it's part of their it should be part of their maintenance as well. So we need to really push them hard on some of this cost going to their users too, not just our community, because we're not the only ones crossing the tracks. If we could do that and just get us all the information when we bring this back. And you'd mentioned, Dean, I thought we'd mentioned, or they had mentioned that it's going to be in the next couple of weeks that they're going to start this work.
Scheduling.
Sorry, yeah, in the next couple of weeks. Okay, because you had said then you threw in a few weeks. And if we're going into a few weeks here, then we're going into, again, the same thing they did last year. We're closing the crossing in high season. So right now, if they're planning on doing it right now, is a good time to do it.
The last information I got from Paul from Railway was that they're having troubles identifying all the materials for the rail upgrade and placement. As soon as they have the materials identified and have them in transit, they're going to schedule the work.
Okay, Councilor Rich.
Yeah, through the chair, and maybe staff can look at the deal CSRD has, because their crossing deal is very different than our crossing deal. So I don't know if, obviously for CK, ours is way better because we're paying for it, but it may be something to take a look at, because CSRD has some pretty good deals with the railway, where they do the work and you don't pay. So that, I don't know if we're ever going to get that changed, but it would be something to ask and negotiate and say, hey, we see this over here by 2 kilometers. Can you help us out a bit? Because we are all same community.
CSRD doesn't have contracts for CPKC. The province does. They're responsible for all those crossings, just like the province does all their road maintenance. CSRD doesn't participate in that contract at all.
So that's why they don't pay.
The only time that CSRD is a part of that is, say, when whistle suppression, when individual residents ask for that.
Just to add to that, I asked staff to set up a meeting with MP Arnold, and he did meet with me, and I did ask for money federally for that too. I said, it's not just about us, so so I requested that, and he was going to look into it and see if there's any money there to assist us as well.
So I guess sounds like we have a pretty good idea how much it's gonna cost, but we're gonna get a report back to council, but we really have no say in this. Is that correct? It's just, here's the bill we're paying. So roughly what are we kind of looking like in a range?
We're looking between 220 and 270.
Yeah, so very, very significant. And we already, just to follow up, we already paid a significant amount of money for an upgrade on that. Like, I want to say 3 years ago.
Silver Sands.
Oh, sorry, I'm getting it. Okay, well,
Yeah.
getting nailed on both of them, I guess, at this point.
That's right.
And I do wonder, like it was brought up, I think by you, Madam Mayor, was that road has had significant amounts of traffic because it's used as a detour for Canada, for the Trans-Canada. It's also used by a lot of transport trucks that are going back and forth. And I just wonder if we should be trying to have some conversations around that, because if that's going to be continue to be that heavily trafficked and we're having to upgrade it, I don't know through how many different years, that's going to be a significant expense to the taxpayers of Sycamoose that we're going to have to probably start accounting for in our budget.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And this isn't new. Trucks cross railway crossings all the time. So hopefully we won't have to, once this is repaired, we're not going to see this stuff happening again for many years. But if we do, obviously they're not working as hard as they can on this crossing, because it's not new that big trucks go across crossings. We're not new.
Well, Trans-Canada, though, wouldn't normally come across that, but there was several times last year where the volume of cars that were coming down Canby Soul Squad and that crossing was, well, huge, significant for a long time.
Yeah.
And those roads are not designed for that.
And there's also logging on Queest.
Yeah.
So they come across there, there's the Walmart Center and they come across there and manufacturing.
Amplify what you said before, it's not just us, right? Like there should be some sort of mechanism to say this is more than just sycamoose and somehow we should get some money to offset what's a pretty big impact.
It is very big.
Yeah.
Councillor Beach.
Yeah, I just want to say the industrial park, so there's automatically lots of hauling big.
Okay, anything else, council? Oh, Dean, looks like your report got a runaway on it. So, okay, we're gonna go to correspondence. Lots of questions on that one. Correspondence for action, the red arrow, e-bus letter of support. Has council had a look at that? I feel like this is like about the third time this has come to us.
I think so.
Yeah, you too. Hey. Like, yeah, is there any difference between this one and the support letters that they've been asking for prior to this?
They even wrote us a support letter. We just need to sign it.
Go ahead, Councilor Bushel.
It's just, I mean, I know people that use it and it's a great service. I mean, if you go to Edmonton, you gotta go to Kamloops to get on the bus, but it's, you know, replaces the old Greyhound.
Yeah.
It is a good, transportation system for sure, so
You want to make that motion then?
make that motion.
Councilor Evans is going to second that.
Just a comment for you. So this, they're indicating in their letter that they have to do this in order to continue
Right.
to have their licensing. So I think that's why we're seeing it on an annual basis.
Oh, okay.
So they have to get this, they have to demonstrate the communities need the service. Yeah. So it does play a role for people trying to get from community to community.
Okay. We have a mover, we have a seconder.
Can I just confirm?
Yep.
So I'm just direct staff to provide a letter to Red Arrow eBus confirming that they provide adequate transportation needs for our community.
Okay. Sounds good. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Okay, is there anything in the correspondence for information that anyone wants to speak to? Refresher. Anyone? All good? Okay. Okay. Committees and regional district reports. Internal committees for information. These are all for information. Everyone can read them at their leisure. Any comments on them? Okay. All right, that takes us to where we are now, our public input. 15 minutes. Do we have any questions from the gallery?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, can I get you up to the podium? State your name, please.
Sean Dugan. I run the Sick Riders rentals in town. So mostly tourism stuff I deal with. I started kind of some summer rentals as well last summer. I'm just kind of been looking at maybe proposing a small pilot project. It's pretty small, like smaller than a houseboat, 12 foot by 34. It's a little rec center style water park. I was thinking, away from the public beach, obviously to preserve public swim and minimize congestion in the area. Sycamoose is already recognized as a, premier water rec destination. I think this type of attraction can strengthen tourism and the economy, give families and younger visitors another reason to stay longer, return more often, spend more time in the community. I just think just a modest seasonal pilot project could increase activity for local restaurants, accommodations during the summer peak months. Obviously, the concept, it's already a unit that's used around the States and Europe, so it's already proven. And obviously, those places, like it holds, 30, 40 people with obviously the the rules in Canada and, you're allowed 11, on a vessel, right? So just like the ferry. So that's pretty easy to safely operate. I think even more, just 11 people is pretty easy to kind of contain. Obviously, you're gonna bring them in and out. Obviously proper insurance, supervision, site selection. Yeah, I'm just gonna ask him if we can kind of explore potential locations and permit requirements. They need to happen. And they print off a few things with a lot more details. If I can hand that, you guys can look it over.
Yeah, please.
Got two.
Oh, we got two, okay.
Hey, Dean, did you have something to add?
Just certainly it sounds like a neat concept, and I'd be happy to meet with you and we can go over exactly the questions you're asking.
Yeah.
Staff certainly could have that conversation with you. You just set up a meeting and we'll have those conversations with you. Give us some guidance, give us a bit more detail if you have any more details.
And I think, if you feel there, find it. I think it'd be kind of fun. Something exciting.
I'll give you my business card and
Perfect.
just send me a quick email. We'll set up a meeting time.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sean.
Appreciate it.
Okay, see you later. Thank you. Alvin, did you have a question?
Well, we've had proposals like this before in front of us. And it was the depth of water, how it's gonna be anchored. Painting everything on site. It didn't go into before and I can't remember why.
Location. Yeah, it was location, actually. Counselor Bushel?
Yeah, you're right, Pauline. It was location. They wanted to have it out in front of Silver Sands. And of course, that's just the Silver Sands didn't want that to happen. So there was a little bit of a,
Oh, right.
that one was a pretty big one. That was one of those big ones.
Yeah, that was
Pretty small. And
what do you say, 12 by
30 kids for kids to climb on or something.
4?
So good for the community.
Counselor Evans?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the one in Kelowna is awesome, gets lots of people and they pay to go on it, but it does take a lot of square footage. Although they probably have smaller ones, but the location is a problem because it would take up a lot of square footage in our quite small swimming area that we have. So, but I mean, there's no doubt the kids that have these things, I've seen them all over the province there.
Counselor Bailey?
I think it's a neat idea to look into. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of regulations, but any little thing that we can do just to add an extra amenity and an extra draw, like, sometimes the small, a small thing like the ferry, we didn't think it would be as big as it has become, but it did. So sometimes these little elements you put into a town really help amplify it and really go places. So yeah, I'll leave it to staff to kind of look at it and see what, I know there will probably be a ton of regulations to it, but they've successfully had this in several other towns. Like I think if you go to Harrison Hot Springs down in the Lower Mainland, they have one. It's big though, but I mean, based on what the presentation was, it sounds like it's a lot smaller and more manageable, but it just might help sell our story and just an extra amenity as well.
Absolutely. Counselor McCabe?
No, I'm for it. Have them present something to staff and then have staff present that to council.
Sounds good. Counselor Evans?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about this years ago, but it will, I think the study will help, but probably needs a lifeguard. And there's things to think about like that too.
Working, stuff like that.
Right.
Okay, anyone online? Any questions online? Okay, we are going to adjourn regular council. And could I get a motion to move back into in camera? Counselor McCabe, Counselor Evans, all in favor? Thank you, everyone. Now we're going back in camera. In camera.